Hello, hello. Well, there's some pretty hungry gills behind me here. You can see they're just tucking into a bit of silage here. I just forked it up. And I just thought I'd just take this little short video just to talk about the food shortages that are appearing everywhere in the supermarkets. Bit shocking really. I myself have had the same problem as everyone else. I've been down to Tesco's to get some basics. I'm now doing the shopping for my wife, believe it or not, because she's got a low immune system, so she's got to self-isolate for 12 weeks, which means I'm doing the shopping. What are we going to end up with? Not a lot by looks at what's out there. Anyway, I just thought I'd sort of reassure people, anyone who's thinking, oh my god, where's all the food gone, that there is actually a good supply of food in the UK. And I say that as a dairy producer and also potentially some beef producer, because although the dairy cow is primarily for producing milk, at the end of its life, we have to be realistic. It ends up in the food chain, and you know, everyone should know that by now. There is no pet cemetery for cows. They end up going to the abattoir and realistically supply things like mince for burgers and your chili con carne and stuff, because they're not the prime cuts of beef. You don't you wouldn't get a rump steak off a dairy cow, and neither would you want to put a rump steak into mince, because it's a waste of expensive meat. And the reason I say there's no shortage of food in the UK is that I can tell you this now, no one's phoned me up and said, Rich, have you got any beef animals or dairy cows that would go, that we can have desperately? No one's phoned me up and said, oh my god, we're short of milk, we need more milk. So realistically, the problem with the lack of supply in the supermarket is not from the British farmer. It is primarily the food chain and the supply chain. And you've got to think about it, where the problem is, there must be a bottleneck somewhere, and it's not getting on the shelves, as everyone knows. So from a primary producer point of view, there is enough food out there. There is enough beef. I know plenty of beef farmers who've got animals that could go if it needed to. There's enough dairy. I could actually produce more milk. And if someone push came to shove, I could get the cows to produce more by giving them a higher protein, giving them a bit more to eat, if you like, because we kind of control a little bit of how much they eat, so that they don't eat it all through the winter. But if there was enough money to be made, it would be viable for me to buy in silage to give them more to eat. As you've seen before, I'm going to run out of maize soon, which means my milk will go down because I'm not feeding everything I want to. But economically, it's probably not viable for me to buy some stuff in, so I just accept that kind of drop, if you like. So realistically, if someone from Tesco's or Muller or whoever phoned me up and said, we need more milk, help, 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 we're short, myself and all the farmers around the UK could probably produce more. So you have to think about it, there just aren't enough people maybe getting that stuff on the shelves. I'm not sure about how it works with supermarkets. I think it's on a kind of just-in-time basis where you bring the milk in, it's there for that day and it's gone. And realistically, there's a few questions that need to be asked about what's happened, in the fact that this supply chain does not seem to respond quick enough for what's going on. I'm sure at the end of all this situation, some big questions are going to have to be asked, because I'd like to know why there isn't enough mince on the shelves and there isn't enough milk in the supermarket or enough cheese. And I guess you can't blame everyone, because let's face it, if there's only enough capacity to produce cheese or mince in the system, suddenly ask to produce more very quickly, it's very difficult to get the staff who know what they're doing, and also to actually find the capacity to make it. But we've got to look at that. And I think there's a few questions we need to ask about this in the future, in the fact that quite a lot of our food is imported. You can still buy chicken from Thailand. Now that isn't a great thing. If that's a food chain going back all the way to Thailand, that's not good, because if this goes on for a long time, no one's going to be bringing chicken from Thailand, I can tell you that now. And that's not to scare you, that's just reality. The other thing as well, all this food going off, there's a bit of silage going off down my back. All this food that is being sold, extra milk, extra cheese, the farmers aren't seeing any extra money for it. I can tell you that now, the beef price is down, it's still not gone back up. And the milk price is still quite low. You might think, oh, selling all this milk, they'll give you a bonus for this. There's no chance of that. The milk price is down way down on what it was a year ago or so. I can't remember exactly, but it is down. And surprisingly, there is going to be a drop next month. Beginning of April, it drops, called seasonality, which means because April generally farmers produce more milk because the cows go out on the grass and they produce more milk. They drop the milk price because they don't want too much milk to deal with. So even if there's a good demand for milk in April because everyone's still panic buying, I'll get a price cut. How about that? So who's making that money there for all that extra volume? I can only assume it's the processor or the supermarkets. And if anything comes out of this whole tragic dilemma that we're all in now, for the British farmer, I would hope that we need to think about food security in this country. We need to think where the profits from this goes. I've been banging on about this for donkey's years. The primary producer really gets shafted all the time, continuously, yet in a situation like this, everyone wants your product. And it's time that more money came back to the primary producer, and it's time that actually more British produce was used by the supermarkets and manufacturers rather than us relying on imported products. Because look what's happening. Crikey, if you can't get your flipping corned beef tins over from Argentina in the next couple of months, there ain't going to be a corned beef British canning factory to step in, I know that. Anyway, I don't want to be negative. I'm just saying what I think at the moment. I think everyone's saying what they think at the moment. Let's all get out of this well, but let's hope that we can get some sort of systems in place to get British farming supported better, get a better supply chain going, okay? Anyway, take care everyone. I'm still here. I did 11 hours every day last week. I did 6 hours yesterday, Saturday, did 6 hours today. I'll be up again for work at 6:30 tomorrow. British farmers going to keep going. We're going to make sure there's food out there. All right, take care, boys and girls, ladies and gents. Cheers.